All right, guys. So young men like myself, men that are in their 20s, we're literally not the men that our fathers were. We're just not. Okay, this is an objective fact, as testosterone levels have decreased over time, especially when it comes to the generation of young men in this country. And the reason why, guys, is because we have become a castrated society, right? Men have become castrated, right? I'm just keeping it 100. And this Jon Gruden story, right, really kind of outlines what I'm talking about, right, in regards to how we become soft, right? It should not be a surprise, considering how you had Randy Moss, right, and a bunch of other grown men on ESPN crying about some emails that were written 10 years ago by Jon Gruden, in which he's criticizing the NFL PA executive, DeMaurice Smith, saying that he's dumb and that he has big lips, right? He has lips the size of Michelin tires. Now, Jon Gruden said that was a reference to saying that he has rubber lips, as if he's a liar. Now, I'm not sure if that's actually true. It doesn't really matter, because at the end of the day, I don't think the comment was worth crying about. It was barely racial at all, okay, in my opinion. But again, we had grown men crying on TV. And after some more emails were released last night about Coach Jon Gruden, or former Coach Jon Gruden, there are going to be a lot more grown men crying on TV today about the things that he said, as he said some things that have basically caused him to resign. Apparently, some things he said were homophobic and misogynistic. Now, I'm going to say right off the bat, I do not endorse anything that Jon Gruden is saying here at all, okay? I am simply making the point about how, as a society, we have forgot about the nature of men, and we've also forgot how to forgive, right? That's the whole point. And then there's also a clear double standard going on here, that when it comes to power dynamics, right, the same people that want to complain about power in this society, the fact that Jon Gruden is getting punished for this shows you why some people in our society simply cannot get ahead. Now, I'm not going to read this article because it's going to take way too long. I'm simply going to summarize what's going on here. Okay, you guys can read the article for more details about what he said. So apparently, there was an investigation into the Washington football team, right? The league is investigating that team for some stuff that happened a couple years ago. You guys remember, with the cheerleaders and all that stuff, right? And Jon Gruden got caught up in this because he was messaging an executive at the Washington football team during that time, named Bruce Allen, right? Now, Gruden was messaging him from his personal email when he worked at ESPN. So it was not on his work email. However, the messages were sent to a league email, right, that belonged to Bruce Allen and other executives and people around the league. Okay, so that's how he got caught up in it. So, interestingly enough, this investigation is going on. Jon Gruden's emails get exposed, but nobody else at the Washington football team gets exposed, right? Nobody else. Dan Snyder is free to go for whatever reason, okay? And I am pretty sure Jon Gruden is not the only coach around the league, or anybody in the league, that holds these views that we're going to get into. So again, I find it mighty strange that he's the only one that's getting exposed here. Again, it sounds to me like he pissed the wrong people off. So in terms of the comments that he said, right, essentially he made what the media is calling homophobic and racial comments. Okay, now we already went over the racial stuff. In terms of the homophobic stuff, he apparently called Roger Goodell, the league commissioner, called him a F word, okay? The derogatory term for a gay person, right? Called him that, called him a kitty cat as well, said he was clueless at football. He also called Joe Biden, I think called him a clueless, nervous kitty cat as well, right? He also criticized the league, Roger Goodell, for pressuring teams to draft Michael Sam, who I think is the first openly gay player to be drafted in the NFL. You guys remember him a while back, okay? There's also some other things in there about how he doesn't agree with Eric Reed kneeling for the national anthem, you know, sharing pictures of women and stuff like that. there's all types of stuff. So if you guys want to read about it, you can read this article from the New York Times if you want to get details. But I'm pretty sure most of you guys know what he said. All this stuff that I'm about to say is contingent on what we know right now, right? It's based off what we know right now. There's gonna be more emails that probably they're gonna come out that may show him saying even worse things. But I'm just giving commentary right now based off what we know. So just keep that in mind. Now, this is what I really want to talk about, right? I want to talk about the reaction to all of this, because I really believe this is one of the most overblown things I ever seen in my life, right? People act like human nature doesn't exist, as if we're not all sinners and fall short of the glory of God. Again, I'm not endorsing anything the man said. In the ideal world, we're not using racial and derogatory slurs towards each other, okay? It's not particularly things that, I would have said in an email like that that's going to the league that can be looked at by other people. But, the thing is, guys, is that do these people really want to go this far with cancel culture? Really? Do you really want to go this far? Because if you open up anybody's file, right? Everybody has skeletons in their closet. Everybody has said things that they're not necessarily proud of, right? Or things that people might find to be offensive, especially men, okay? Especially in a football league like the NFL, right? How many of those players in that locker room, how many of those coaches, how many of those executives, black, white, I don't care what race you are, have said things that are probably going to be offensive, that people are not going to like? I guarantee you there are executives today that are going to that IT guy and telling them to scrub their emails, right? Scrub them. Because they all saying the same stuff. Because this is how men talk, right? This is how men talk. I'm not saying it's necessarily right. I'm just saying this is the nature of men. So for these people that are like, oh, this is not cancel culture, this is accountability. Okay, two things. Should we throw away the whole football league? Matter of fact, let's throw away college football. Let's throw away high school football. Matter of fact, let's get rid of men's sports, period. Because I guarantee you, this same type of stuff is said in every single locker room across this country. I've had coaches say way worse stuff to me, and I've heard it said to my teammates too when I played football. But guess what? We were on the way to becoming men. And it's understood that this is how men talk to each other. That's understood. What man has not referred to another man? Okay, whether that's a friend, whether it's somebody that's not your friend, somebody what man has not referred to them as a kitty cat, right? Every man have said that. And if you haven't, I got some questions, bro. And as men, we work it out among each other, right? Men say effed up stuff to each other all the time. Guess what? If we got a problem with it, we come together. Hey, man, I said this, I said that. We cool, we Gucci, we good. Yeah, man, you my boy. That's how men work. But the woke media had to get involved and start boo-hooing crying instead of letting this be worked out among men, right? That locker room, which is what's supposed to happen. So these people, again, that are talking about its accountability, second of all, I want you to open up your file. Open up your text message, open up your private emails, and let's read them all. And there is no time limit on it, because you can go back 10, 20 years. If somebody say something, doesn't matter if it was on their current job or not, right? Doesn't matter. And they can lose their jobs and their livelihoods over it. So I want all these people talking about, well, this is accountability. Open up your emails. Open up your private messages and show us that you ain't never said anything like this. I want to see it. Because, again, if all of our files were open, everybody in this country would be jobless. Even old woke Shannon Sharp, he went in on Jon Gruden. But when talking about how Jon Gruden should be punished, listen carefully to what woke Shay Sharp says.
He ain't grown. Grown how?
Yep.
Because he had no apology in the 10 years up until this moment.
Yep.
Skip, I think his punishment should be having to go stand before those black men in that locker room for however long he owns this job and have them look at him and like, because they got in the back of their mind, damn, oh, okay. So if I make a mistake, we lose a game, you go home and you vent. This is what you think of me, huh?
So not one of those players said that publicly after they did have a team meeting in which he apologized, according to Jon, to them.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. Skip, and for me, I don't believe the NFL should do anything because this is a very, very, very slippery slope you'll be heading down. I don't want Fox to punish me for something that I may or may not have done while I was at CBS. That wouldn't be fair. He wasn't an employee of the NFL. Although, Skip, he was working for ESPN, and we understand.
Oh, so you heard that, right? Shannon Sharp got a whole lot to say. But when it comes to, should NFL do anything about this? Nah. The reason he cites is because he's like, well, I don't want Fox to fire me for something that I did at CBS. Why is that, Shay? Shay got allegations, guys. Woke Shay Sharp got allegations, particularly against women. He don't want that resulting in him losing his job. You see what I'm saying? Everybody got a foul, right? And the only reason this man is being fired or he's losing his job or resigning is simply because the emails were discovered and somebody decided to pull his card. That's it. It's not because of what he said. Because I guarantee you, again, everybody's around the league is saying the same stuff. But do I think that the league should be thrown away because of that? No. No, absolutely not. It bothers me that this is where we're at when it comes to cancel culture and how soft we are, man. It really bothers me. And what bothers me even more is how there are some things that are not acceptable, but there's some things that are acceptable, right? This man, Jon Gruden, for the rest of his life is now going to be smeared as a racist, sexist, homophobic bigot, okay? That's what they're going to say. And they're going to say, well, he deserves to be fired because his personal views, can lead to discrimination in the workplace. Okay, what evidence do you have for that? What evidence do you have? Because he has, I think, the only openly gay player on his team. If the man was such a homophobe, why is that gay player still on the team? Right? You would think he would have cut the guy. Obviously, he's not that homophobic that he doesn't think a gay player should be on his team. And then people want to talk about racism. Let's talk about it. Let's actually talk about it. Let's get into it. This same guy, Jon Gruden, who they're accusing of being a racist, traded for Antonio Brown. And then subsequently made Antonio Brown the highest paid wide receiver in the NFL. Antonio Brown is black. So again, we have an alleged white racist here, Jon Gruden, trading for a black NFL player, making him the highest paid NFL receiver. Okay, and this receiver is a nut job. Okay, he's a nut job. And he ain't particularly fond of white people, which we're about to get into. So again, if that's racism, I need some of that racism. Inject some of that racism in my veins. I need it. This same receiver, Antonio Brown, during training camp, called Mike Mayock a C word, a derogatory term, a slur used towards white people. In training camp, in his face, to his face, right? The Raiders then cut him. Even though I don't think they cut him for that. I think they cut him for other allegations against him, right? Maybe that could have been it. I don't remember exactly why they cut him. But the next week, Antonio Brown, who said a racial slur about white people, right? Letting you know that he don't really like white people like that. A white man, Bill Belichick, signed him. Signed him to the team. Nobody questioned whether or not Bill Belichick is supporting racists, right? Is Bill Belichick racist against white people because he's employing somebody that obviously don't like white folks? No, nobody's ever said that. And see, this is where the double standard comes in. You can say anything that you want about a certain group of people in this country. Doesn't matter if it's racial, don't matter what it is. And you get a free pass. But when it comes to other people, right? There's a protected group of people that's like, no, you can't say anything. Nothing. Or else you're going to lose your job. You're not going to get a second chance. Jon Gruden's not getting a second chance like Antonio Brown. Jon Gruden will never coach a day in his life. He will be seen as a racist, sexist, homophobic bigot for the rest of his life. He doesn't get the benefit of the doubt. There are players in the league that have committed domestic abuse that have actually hurt people, that have gotten second chances. The league has rappers that are performing at halftime that have said worse things than Jon Gruden have said, but nobody's calling for them to be canceled. But just Jon Gruden, though. And these same people want to talk about power dynamics. This is why so-called minorities can't get ahead in this country, right? Because this situation right here shows you who has the power and why they have the power. And let me explain. Bill Belichick did not give a damn about Antonio Brown calling Mike Mayock the C word, a derogatory racial slur for a white person. Tom Brady was also a part of that decision as well. I believe Tom was the main one that wanted Antonio Brown. Why is that, guys? Because Tom Brady and Bill Belichick were more concerned about winning, right? Winning ultimately leads to more money, right? Winning leads to more money, more power. They're more concerned about winning and what actually matters than what Antonio Brown said about white people. He don't give a damn about Antonio Brown potentially being racist towards white people. He don't care because Antonio Brown can help them win. That's why they signed him. That's why Antonio Brown is currently still in the league. Because Tom Brady, he don't care if Antonio Brown, whether or not he like white people, whether or not Antonio Brown uses racial slurs against white people. Guess what? I still want you to play for me. I still want you to be on my team. Why? Because it's about winning, right? It ain't no coincidence that Tom went on to win a Super Bowl with a racist black person on the team, right? Somebody that hates white people. He didn't care. Yeah, you can play on my team. Come help me win this Super Bowl. Come help me get ahead with my legacy. That's why he's the GOAT. That's why he's ahead. He cares about what actually matters. And see, people want to talk about, well, why are white people winning? Why are white people getting ahead? Because white people understand what a rulership mentality is. A rulership mentality is not worrying about this stupid stuff like a lot of people worry about when it comes to what people say. All they're worried about is what matters. You will never see a black head coach turn around and hire a white person that said the N-word. Even if that white person could help them win, even that white person could help them get ahead in life, they wouldn't do it because the feelings are hurt about some words that the person said rather than what the person can bring to the table, rather than what the job is actually about, what you're hired to do. Jon Gruden is not hired to be a saint. He's not hired to be a preacher. He's hired to be a football coach. And in the game of football, a gladiator sport, things are said that people are not going to like, that are going to hurt some feelings. But that's the whole point. It's a man's game. And the men that are successful in this game don't let stuff like that get in the way. The men that are successful in life don't let stuff like that get in the way. But people want to wonder why minorities losing? Why can't they get ahead? Because we spend too much time caring about dumb stuff like this. Caring about what other people think, their personal beliefs. I don't give a damn about your personal beliefs. I just want to know, can you help me win? Can you help me get ahead in life? And these same people think that this cancel culture, well, we're trying to get all the racists and people with bad beliefs out of the workforce. You're not going to do that. It's never going to go away. The only thing that you're really doing, you're just incentivizing people to hide how they actually feel. I would much rather live in a world where people can openly say how they feel. That way I know how you feel, rather than to have people walking around here hiding how they feel. So I don't think that Antonio Brown should be permanently punished for what he said about Mike Mayock, the same way I don't think Jon Gruden should be permanently punished for what the things he said. I think it's okay to give apologies and to say, you know what? I was wrong. I'm sorry about what I said. It was hurtful. Let's move on, right? Let's worry about football. I'm going to try to be a better man in the future. Hell, he can even donate a couple $1 million to some pro-LGBTQ group, right? He can donate a couple $1 million to something like that, just to be like, you know what? Well, at least what resulted in this was, you know, I put some money towards y'all cause. But we've forgotten as a society how to do that. We've forgotten about forgiveness. We've forgotten about it. So again, what really bothers me is that aspect of it, and the fact that there's a clear double standard in regards to who's allowed to say certain things. That's what really bothers me about this whole thing, man. Now, Jon Gruden, right, he's probably still gonna get his money. He's gonna, you know, live his life. I mean, his reputation will be tarnished as a coach, but, you know, he'll be fine. But it's just a shame that you see stuff like this and nobody ever has a conversation to say, you know what, maybe we should allow this person to explain themselves. Maybe we should just take a step back and be like, hey, you know what? Is apology enough? Can we forgive somebody? Can we change a person's heart, right? Without ruining their lives. Because again, these same people that call for accountabilities, they will never, ever, ever open up their closet and show us what's in there. So, like I said, man, it is what it is. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.